And we're back, Red Press. Now, Liverpool fans in absolute dreamland tonight because Liverpool beat Manchester City by 2-0 just a few days after beating Real Madrid by 2-0. Now, this is a bit reminiscent of that week back in, 2009, I think it was, when we beat Real Madrid 4-0 and then beat Manchester United by 4-1. Shout out to Andre De Sene. Now, what a week that was and what a week this is for the Reds. Now, what happened today? Well, what happened was this is the day that Arne Slot and his Liverpool team announced themselves as being the real deal. They're not just a team in form, not just a team that have been gathering a few points and having a bit of a new manager bounce. This team is the real deal. They deserve to be on top of the Premier League. They deserve to be on top of the Champions League. And they've announced themselves as genuine title favourites at this point. And today, what was really impressive to me was how versatile they were and how they played. They're not just down to play one style of football, one pattern of play. You could see this in the opening exchanges of the game when Liverpool went hell-bent for leather, used that energy and noise of the crowd to really get at Manchester City and really try and play through them and play through the midfield. And in truth, they bullied City for periods of the game. Those early kind of exchanges in the game, and they were physically dominating. But it wasn't just about playing through the middle. Liverpool were open to going long, specifically looking for Mohamed Salah, who had a pretty decent battle in truth with Nathan Ake down the right. They could go long, they could play through the middle. Obviously, they knew they weren't going to have the ball for the entire 90 minutes or entire 45 minutes in the first half, and they were content with Man City to have the ball at times. After about maybe 25, 30 minutes, Liverpool run out of steam in a little bit in terms of the high-intensity football. And they thought, well, okay, City, you have the ball. Come forward, wait for City to overcommit and try and hit them on the counter-attack. So there's lots of different ways that they were looking to dominate City in this game, whether they had possession or whether they're out of possession. And they never really looked uncomfortable. And in terms of possession, City did have more of the ball over the 90 minutes. They had 56% possession to Liverpool's 44%, which is kind of standard for when Liverpool face Manchester City. City generally have a little bit more of the ball. The very nature of how they play football usually determines that. So you might think, well, maybe City were a bit hard done by if they had more of the ball. Absolutely not. They had so much of the ball, but they couldn't think of how to get past Liverpool. They could never really get in behind, and that's what usually when City are at the most dangerous, especially with Erling Haaland. It just didn't happen for them. They were devoid of ideas for the most part. They had the most successful spell, I think, when Doku came on. He caused Liverpool some problems down the left there, but anytime he did make a little bit of a headway, Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez were so dominant in the centre, it never really came to fruition. I think City had 2 shots on target. I can only really remember one when Van Dijk kind of lost his mind for a little bit and it, kind of created a chance there. Keller came to the rescue. I can't really think of the other shot on target that they had. Liverpool had 7 shots on targets. Altogether, Liverpool had 18 shots compared to City's 8. I think this is the first time this season that it's been that reverse of the opposition to City having more shots than them. It's also the lowest amount of shots that City have had this season. And, you think, well, as poor as City have been, in this little recent run of form, Liverpool have been fantastic and were fantastic today. And I think City, they're always going to have moments because the squad is so good, the coaches are so good, Guardiola's so good. They're always going to have moments, and I think a less resilient team than Liverpool would have maybe folded at certain times there tonight, but it never happened. They're so good in defence, just so good all over the pitch. It was unreal. I mean, in terms of XG, Liverpool had 3.35 compared to City's 0.82. So a 2-0 victory kind of feels like just like a fair result, even though I do think at times City pushed their luck, especially in that opening 7-8 minutes when Liverpool was so strong. They were creating chances. It wasn't just a case of possession for the sake of it. They were creating chances. Admittedly, I thought at that point, will we regret this? Will we regret not killing that game off in that first half? And at times in the second half when City had the ball, it was a little bit nervy because you know the threat that City can have. But ultimately, as I say, the Liverpool defence were well up to the task, and the confidence that must bring in this statement victory. If the Real Madrid wasn't a statement victory, tonight was, because as in trouble Manchester City are at the moment, they're still Manchester City, they're still the champions, and it really felt great to be able to kind of put the boots on the neck, and this was the perfect opportunity for Slot and his team to make a real statement victory. So where does this leave them for the rest of the season? Well, there's still 25 games left to play. This isn't a league deciding game by any stretch of the imagination, but what I think it does, it puts Man City out of the equation in terms of mounting a credible title challenge. Now, as I say, there's 25 games left to play, so you might think, well, City can go on a run, and they can. They've shown that they can do that in the past, but to have a genuine title challenge, it's going to require Liverpool to fall apart somewhat, and it's going to require City to go on a genuine run of form. Those things are possible. Are both things possible? I'm not quite sure. I think realistically, City are done in terms of a title race. I think Arsenal are going to be right there. Chelsea are looking really good. Whether it's too soon for them, I'm not quite sure. Arsenal's a real threat in terms of where this Premier League race might go, but I really do think that Liverpool have just put a bullet in Manchester City's hopes of getting 5 on the row. I think it's impossible. I thought it was impossible to get 4 on the row, so credit where it's due to Man City. I think that was an incredible achievement, but 5 in a row, it's just not possible, I don't think, unless you're kind of refreshing your squad with unbelievable players all the time. It's just not possible. These players, I think, have come to the end of their journey at Manchester City. Some great players there who can't do what, at 31, 32, they can't do what they were doing at 26, 27. It's just time catches up on us all, believe me. I know as much as anyone. So that's what happened today. Liverpool, 9 points clear of Arsenal, 11 points clear of City, I think it is. And they've put themselves on a fantastic platform to attack this. In terms of winning the Premier League, we're a long way from that, but what I think is a genuinely positive thing about the squad is that there's experience in the squad of winning the league when being so far out in front. So we've got Alisson Becker, Andy Robertson, Trent, Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez and Mohamed Salah, as well as some of the younger lads who are in and around the squad, like Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott at the time. And those players know what it's like to win a Premier League from the front, which is obviously it's a different mental challenge from trying to chase somebody. So I think that holds us in good stead, really, the experience in those players that we've got. And how long some of those players are going to be at Liverpool is another question. But I think if this is the final season for Mo, Virgil, Trent, I think hopefully they can go out on a bang. But there's a lot of football to be played between now and, whenever the team that wins the league. I'm hoping it's going to be very soon and we can break the record that we set back in 2020. For now, we're in December, games coming thick and fast, anything can happen. But if we've got a cushion when we go into the new year, when we play Manchester United, I think that's the first game of 2025 for us at Anfield. If we still got this cushion, I think it's going to make for a very interesting second half of the season. And hopefully we're not going to get carried away just yet. And we're just going to enjoy the ride, enjoy the process. Next up, Newcastle. Enjoy being top of the league. Up the Reds.